Welcome into Under the Radar, WagerTalk's new college basketball betting show. I am Drew Martin, holding it down here, getting after some winners, hopefully, towards the end of February, March Madness. If you're new to college basketball betting, welcome on in. In my opinion, the best sport to get an advantage over the odds makers. And transparency is key, guys. So last week's show, it went pretty well. We did take one bad loss, but overall, we were 3-1 on the week. 1.9 units of profit, $100 better up $190, $1,000 better up $1,900 there. So plus 8 ATS points combined. That's a stat where I like to kind of track how we're doing compared to the closing line. Like, are we winning these bets by a lot? Are we just barely winning? And if we're losing, by how much are we losing? It's a kind of a stat I like to kind of rate yourself, how you're doing here. So plus on the week. And guys, the teams we went after, DePaul and Arkansas, and the Razorbacks there, they were 2-0. However, DePaul just 1-1. We took actually a big loss against Creighton. The way I look at it, guys, it was just wrong side, wrong matchup. It happens in this business. We lost that by 2 touchdowns, as you see there, but then came back against Seton Hall, got it by more than a touchdown, 8.5 ATS points. But Arkansas, wow, what a run the Razorbacks are on. Pig Suey coming through 2-0 in the SEC up against the Gators and Tennessee, winning both of those fairly comfortable. So take the 2-0 anytime you can get it. And guys, that brings us, after a 3-1 week here, to the overall recap for the show. This is the 5th episode, so we've had four shows here of record keeping, and 15-8. That's 65% on the season, plus 6.2 units there. If you're betting $100 on each selection we've been making, you're up $620. If you've been betting $1,000, hey, you can do the math there. Just add a 0 on the end, making some serious cash. If you're betting even more, hey, hopefully you got a lot of money. But always remember, guys, don't bet too much on each game. Only bet what you can afford to lose here. This is gambling, but hey, hopefully we keep up in this trajectory here, making some money heading in to March Madness. So let's get into it. 5th episode of the show. We're heading to the SEC conference for our first team this upcoming week. I'm looking to bet on. That's the South Carolina Gamecocks. Head coach Frank Martin, one of the better, more underrated, this is under the radar of the show, underrated head coach here. He's got the Gamecocks sitting at 16-10 straight up. Not too long ago, they were kind of out of March Madness talk. Now they're getting on the bubble, 14-11 against the spread. They've been a money maker this season, talking about the Gamecocks. And even more importantly, guys, the kind of basketball they're playing right now. If you're watching South Carolina, they kind of turned it on. Defensively and offensively, they're playing a lot better. And sure enough, it's worked into making some money. If you've been betting on the Gamecocks here, they've won 4 straight games. They've covered 5 straight against the spread. And some things I've taken away from the last couple weeks with South Carolina is, this started against Kentucky. They were 10.5, 11-point underdogs, and they stayed within that number, not quitting, even though they were down. And sure enough, that was their first cover in this 5-game stretch of covers, looking to keep it going here with South Carolina. And it really rolled well. In sort of their profile, when you go kind of look even earlier in the season, guys, it's something I've noticed in the NFL. If you're an NFL bettor, which I know a lot of you guys are, it's kind of the king of sports betting here, except for the end of February and the month of March. College basketball, in my opinion, kind of comes to center stage. But one thing I look for in the NFL is, like, let's say week 1, an NFL team gets blown out. Everybody loses on them. A lot of times throughout the next, month or 2 of the NFL season, that team, you can kind of buy at a discount. And a lot of times they'll make you money. And sure enough, I think South Carolina kind of fits that profile, guys. We get South Carolina with early season losses to Princeton and Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers. That's an Ivy League and a Sun Belt team. And their full season stats, this is what I really like here, guys. Sometimes the full season stats don't really tell the picture of what's currently going on. And the Gamecocks, I think, kind of fit that as well. When you look at their free throw percentage, 66% on the season, that's bad. That's like bottom 40 of Division I college basketball, and there's almost 360 teams. So that's very bad, 66%. from the charity stripe. But when you look at their last game, 91% from the free throw line against Mississippi State. Now, granted, it's only 10 of 11, but even the game before that against LSU, 17 of 22, that's 77%. Just 4 games ago against Georgia, 73%, 8 of 11. So whatever they're doing, practice, whatever the case may be, they're knocking down their free throws, and it's translating towards them covering spreads. So a lot of people go off of full season metrics. I like to go off of more recency, and South Carolina is a lot better from the charity stripe. Also, defensively, very, very good. Their defensive efficiency, top 30 in the country, number 19 in the country in terms of offensive rebounding percentage. So they're getting those second chance points. That's a stat I love to bet on teams that are doing that. Plus, their best player is their point guard. Hey, sometimes, guys, especially with under the radar, you'll notice a trend here of I tend to look to bet on teams with really good point guard play. I think, come February and March, a lot of the good teams with good guard play tend to cover a lot more. And sure enough, Jermaine Coursard, the 6'4" point guard for South Carolina, 20-plus points in each of the last 2 games. So, guys, South Carolina, absolutely bet on for me. Looking ahead at their schedule, Saturday at Alabama. They'll be the underdog here in Tuscaloosa. Plus 10 points is what Ken Palm has them. They stay within doubles. We cash on Saturday. And then Tuesday against Missouri. Really like that matchup. Looks like we're going to have to lay a few points. Again, guys, we'll be grading this off of the closing line. But Ken Palm's numbers has it. South Carolina, 8-point favorites against Missouri. So look to bet them on Saturday at Alabama, plus a big price. And then lay a number here against Missouri on Tuesday. Next team up, guys, we got the Ole Miss Running Rebels here. Heading to Oxford, 13-15 straight up, 13-15 against the spread as well. Their best player, Jarquel Joyner, he is back in the lineup. He did have the flu. He also had a back injury as well. 2 straight covers by a combined 18 points. Ole Miss is a team, look, guys, they are banged up. Probably the most banged up team in the SEC for a big portion of this season. Now they're a lot healthier of late. They got a good coach that actually a lot of people were saying, hey, he might be shown the door in Kermit Davis. I don't know. I just think that the injuries kind of got to Ole Miss. He's done a really good job with this program. Now, granted, this is a down year. You can see it in their record. And actually, some people might be saying, hey, they're 4-11 in the SEC. Why are we looking to bet on them now? Well, actually, Jarquel Joyner, their best player, the Cal State Bakersfield transfer, he's a guy that handles the ball a lot, and he is just quicker than everybody else on the court. He is a guy I'm really looking to bet on. He's healthy, and just last night, watching him, I had a 5% play, Auburn and Ole Miss. Jarquel Joyner was the fastest guy in the court there, and Auburn has some really quick guards. That's one thing I noticed. They were able to score, and even more importantly, something that riding under the radar is how Ole Miss is playing on the defensive end of the floor. They're changing up their defenses a lot. That's something Kermit Davis likes to do. That's a profile I really like. In the next couple of years, I bet you college basketball transitions to more of that. One time going man-to-man, next time going 2-3 zone, next time going 1-3-1 zone. And you'll see Ole Miss do that, and it confuses teams. We just saw that last night in the Pearl in Auburn, Alabama. They held Auburn to their lowest offensive output of 2022. Think about that. That is, there's some good SEC defensive teams. Ole Miss is the one that held Auburn to the lowest output at home. Plus the fact their center is Nasir Brooks. He's a 25-year-old man out there. Think about it. When you were 19 or when you were 25, who was the bigger, stronger dude? He's 7 foot grabbing rebounds out there. He gave Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith a tough time. I'm looking to bet on him. So combine him, Jarquel Joyner, a good coach in Kermit Davis. They're healthier right now. I think Ole Miss is riding under the radar. Looking at their schedule, guys, Saturday against Texas A&M. Looks to be near a pick'em price, even as high as -2. That's what Ken Palm has them at. I'm looking to bet on Ole Miss against Texas A&M on Saturday. And then kind of a tricky one here, Tuesday night. This team actually almost made a fade here for me, Kentucky. We're kind of selling high on Kentucky. Sure enough, we're going to get a big plus price. Looks like +17 at Ken Palm in Lexington with Ole Miss. Look to bet the Running Rebels against Kentucky. That's the way I'm going after it, guys. So we got 2 SEC teams here, For this week's Under the Radar, that's South Carolina and Ole Miss. Ole Miss looks to be -2 against Texas A&M, and at Kentucky +17. And South Carolina, we get them +10 against Alabama on Saturday, and against Missouri looks to be -8 on Tuesday. Those are Ken Palm's numbers, guys. We'll grade it off of the closing line here, but hopefully South Carolina, go Cox, and Ole Miss, hotty toddy, comes through for us this week. So that's Under the Radar, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Huge shout out to everybody that replied below on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Love interacting with you guys. Let me know if I'm missing any teams out there. Of course I am, with so many teams in college basketball, but let me know who you're looking to bet on, maybe who you're looking to fade as well. Hit me up on Twitter at DrewMartinBets. Check it out, WagerTalk.com as well, guys. Like always, thanks for tuning in. Please smash that like button. We'll talk next week.